He didn't hide it.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
He did not hide it. And this cuts, I believe.
It does. It doesn't really come with position guaranteed at a 4, though.
Can he check it? Bring it back. Overcut it. He did check it. That's what threw it off. Putting all that inside spin on it thinned the shot out.
Yeah, that wasn't easy. I don't know whether he's left enough of the 3 out for Martin Daigle to be able to knock it in. It's close. Danny's coming to have a look at it.
I'll tell you the one thing that happened this morning. Here. I don't know if you had arrived yet or not, but there's been a big talking to. There's been a come to Jesus talk with Team Quebec, and they are now going to be in that corner, and they're going to be supporting their players. That was the one thing that everybody noticed, and we talked about this yesterday, that there wasn't support from the team, and now apparently they're here to support. So let's see if it makes a difference on the scoreboard.
Could be a case of too little, too late.
Could it be? And I think it's good. Again, the early morning match. Who kicks into gear quickest and gets a jump start?
Well, we've already seen a couple misses from Team Ontario. They certainly have a comfortable lead. Well, we've already seen a couple misses from Team Ontario. And the players from Quebec have got a lot of pride. They certainly have a comfortable lead. One-sided scoreline. They'll try and put that right as soon as possible.
Make it more respectable.
And
nice little fall on this, get more back position.
Got a lot of pride. This is one-sided scoreline. They'll put that right as soon as possible.
Always been about the country
Quebec. They've got a lot of pride. They certainly have a comeback. One-sided scoreline. This is one-sided put that right as soon as possible. And Quebec. They've got pride. One thing about Danny and Montana, pretty tall. They're going to be able to reach anything on the table. Well, the first sign of life here at La Bande de Coin. So there's a scattering of fans here in attendance.
These are diehards when you're here on a beautiful day today.
Sunday morning. You bet they are.
Here, boy. Well, this is good for Quebec. Keeps Ontario in the chair, keeps the arm a little cold. They both had 2 bad misses on both shots that they should have just easily made those. They know they could. So Quebec can't think they're going to get those kind of breaks all the time. Ontario's not going to miss those kinds of shots all the time.
No, you want to put your shoulder to the door. You don't want to back in.
No, that's right.
This is an illegal break.
No, 2 balls down.
Oh, pardon me, Russ. 2 down. Make it legal.
Yes, sir.
I have to take my shoes and socks off to count past 10.
It's not up to 10. There's only 9 on the table, James. Now, what's the path here, Jim, to get back to the 3? Does he go between the 4-9? Oh, he brings it around, and that's what makes him miss the shot. But he gets on the 3, and he ends up lucky on it.
Well, Eric calling for Ben out of his chair. I mean, in terms of experience, the man at the table's got plenty. Ben's kind of the qualifier, if you will.
I spoke to Alain Martel earlier. That's a beautiful shot. I spoke to Alain earlier, and here's some interesting fact for you. Up to now, the best percentage, the one who is leading now as the potential winner of the Gaston Leblanc Trophy for the MVP, who has the best winning percentage so far, is Ben Crawley. Leave you speechless with that, doesn't it? Yeah.
Extension call.
Maybe you didn't want it in.
No, they definitely didn't want it in.
Maybe you didn't want
Well,
that.
could be a jump shot, though. He'll be getting the short cue out here, I think. And he's
Or
already
does
got
he
it.
have the rail? Oh, he's got the jump cue out here. Oh, that did not miss by much. That did not miss by much.
Well, there's one problem ball. Looks like the 7, just beside the 8.
It looks like it'll go into the middle.
It will, and that
Yeah.
might be the only pocket it'll go to. It doesn't
Yeah.
go to the bottom corner.
Ben got back up to see it's virtually on the same shot that he had missed in the opening frame, so that was good for him to get that. That was well hit by Erik Hjorleifson.
Well, the 7, now Ben's going to have to draw this back, get right behind it, play the 7 into that side pocket.
Does he come off the rail or does he bring it straight back down? Oh, a little bit off the rail.
He's going to be leaving it a little closer to the rail than he would have liked, I know that.
Yeah, that's right.
He was on the right line. This is the big shot in this rack.
That was a beautiful hit. Beautiful
was.
hit. Beautiful
Stayed
touch on
very
the 8.
still, Russ, and that's
Yes, he
usually the
did.
key to success.
And this is automatically going to get you to the 9. There it is.
Well, that fluke 2 ended up costing Team Quebec. So score is level 1-1 in the race to 5. And there'll be singles and doubles play today. This match will be followed by a singles clash, Alex Pagulayan and Nicolas Charette. And then doubles play, the 2 more is Mario and John, father and son versus Nicolas Charette, who will stay on the table, and partner Martin Daigle. Then Ben Crawley will come back against Martin Daigle. Looks like he's playing 3 of the first 4 matches. No wonder I saw him here practicing early this morning.
Yeah. And it's different from yesterday as to who's staying on and who's coming off. So yesterday we were seeing a lot of players that were playing in the team match, and then immediately one of them was staying on for the single match. We're not seeing as much of that today. Oh, and they didn't finish lucky. Lost the cue ball a little bit there on that one, didn't he?
Yeah, this is tricky.
And this one was maybe, just got behind that. I didn't think it was going to come off that way. Just enough to get behind the 5.
That spin stayed on the cue
It
ball
did,
long
didn't
enough
it?
for it to
Yeah.
react off that last cushion. But we already know Danny can jump.
Yeah, we know he can jump. Now, if he doesn't make it, does he get safe with the cue ball? Does he leave the cue ball down there and the 1 comes back up? Does he leave the cue ball down there and the one comes back up? There you go. You see the window, but he didn't leave it on. So
No,
but he may have left a wonderful opportunity for behind this wall for a snooker, don't you think?
yeah, it was a containing shot, but
Yeah.
I mean, Quebec would be very happy if they can see the one when they come to the table again,
Yeah.
because this is a big opportunity for Ben to find cover. I mean, you got a wall of
And
colors
he's got
there,
it,
so
yeah.
that was never going to be too difficult.
Did he kick it safe? He did not. Just enough of that edge, and that looks. Eric's looking at it. It looks like it goes behind.
Well, and you know what? He's got the angle to bring the cue ball down the same side of the table for the 3. Just got to get below the 4 to leave the 3 on. You know what? This looks perfect.
That's good speed. This is not.
This is perfect.
Wow. That's like, just forget about making the pot, but that little window, he didn't have a big window there, you know, to still be able to cut the 4, to cut the 3 in.
Key
That
here
was
is 4 to 5, Russ.
4 to 5.
4
is
to
key
5.
here, huh? Okay.
That's what they're discussing right now. If you can leave the 4 fairly straight, you can play the 5 into the side, into the top corner.
Into both sides, I think it might even go. Does it go into the, I can't tell from this vantage point. Does it go into the other side as well? Or
Tough
is
to
it
tell.
Tough to tell. Yeah.
Well, Eric's going to have to float this in very slow. He's left the 5 into the top corner, and it's perfect. Perfect. If anything, it's too perfect.
Yeah,
Too straight.
because the 7 doesn't go into this. The
Exactly.
line's blocking it into that corner. Well, that's good. That's naturally going to take him down for the 8, isn't it? Not a lot of work here. Just smooth through the ball. That white ball wobbled one way and came back.
And a chance for Ontario to take the lead in this one. And Big Red deposits at 9 and 2-1.
And again, that's 2 frames back to back where Quebec was kicking out of a snooker and hit the ball, didn't commit a foul, but ended up leaving the shot on.
You know, that rack, I mean, Ontario really had control of it. It seemed like Quebec was always trying to defend, and I mean, I suppose you could say that Danny Hewit was a little unlucky to leave the 1 ball available after he kicked and hit the 1.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. That's what I'm saying. He left it available, and you know, if a ball rotation to either side, and then they can't see the 1, so that changes it. And it's funny how, what do they say? The balls roll funny, don't they? The balls roll funny.
Back to break, trailing 2 games to 1.
Danny has been one of the more dominant players in Quebec for almost as long as I can remember here.
And fails to make a ball. You jinxed him, James.
I did jinx him, and he's left the 1 available too. Eric just had a quick look. 2-6 combination would be the plan next, assuming he gets the 1.
Now, obviously he's got to, you cutting it the one into the side, into the middle bag, right?
Yeah.
And then come back up off the rail.
Well, he's honest.
Well, that's kind of 50-yardish.
Yeah, this is a bit tricky because it's a thinnish hit on the 2,
Yes,
and
it
the
is.
cue ball is definitely going to contact the 9.
And the 5 is very, very close. So the 2 has to be hit nicely. You can't afford to overcut that because you will run into the 5. The 2 will hit the
There's
4.
always the option of playing safe here. If he doesn't like the combination, the safety's there. But if I'm playing this shot and I'm playing the combination, Russ, I'm playing it with a bit of speed and playing bottom.
To slide it over.
Yeah, just trusting a little bit to luck, hoping that I keep the 2 over the pocket. Well, now they're going to play safe. He's playing safe.
And didn't get it.
No, that's a horrible shot. That's a horrible shot.
So this is now, if you're working on your comeback and you got your rally caps on, this is where you have to take advantage. You've got the table, balls are in the open.
Yeah.
There's not a trouble ball here.
That mistake's got to be punished.
Yeah. Too hard.
Not bad, though.
Not bad.
Not bad. I mean, he had to
Not
get
a-
below the 5.
Well, he came a lot below the 5. That's a back cut into a blind pocket, in a narrow pocket as well.
Well, the natural path of the cue ball is going to head up to the 4,
Yeah,
though.
of course it is, yeah.
So,
Is it
good
is the
chance to
7
let
in the way or no? The
No,
7's
he
not
won't
in the
touch
way.
the 7 here. He just needs that cue ball to slow down.
See, the problem with that was because he had to back cut it and it was so thin, he couldn't control the cue ball like he wanted to. The speed didn't come off of the cue ball because he didn't hit enough of the object ball. This is, again, a mistake on Team Quebec's part, an unforced error again.
Extension call.
He's trying to go behind the 5.
Well, he's running for cover. We know that for sure.
Yeah.
And the
And he
4 doesn't go.
And he shouldn't have had to run for coverage. And that's the thing. I think he got a half ball on that.
Well, you heard the noisemaker. That's not a guy from Ontario over there.
Well, it was yesterday with Alex. Alex had 3 of them in his hand yesterday.
No, he's left it. He's found the gap between the 5
Yeah.
and 7. It was always going to be a bit risky. but-
Absolutely. And kind of caught the 4 a little too thick and made it bounce back into play instead of saying nestled in on the side rail. Well stroked by Danny. One more rotation wouldn't have hurt.
Well, Martin is looking at cutting this into the side.
Yeah, for sure he's got to. Still good. it's off the rail, so he's got room to cut it. It's thin, but the 7 at least is well placed. I mean, it's pretty hard just for the white. You'd have to be really unlucky for the white not to finish on the 7 in one pocket or another, or 4 pockets perhaps.
Yes, sir.
Or you'd have to be unlucky for it to not finish. That's almost it.
Well, this was a vital rack. Like we said, after that mistake from Ben Crawley, I think Quebec had to secure this one.
But they still needed 2 shots at it.
Level at 2 apiece. Looking at some of the scores, even from the first 2 days, Russ, you know what jumps out at me is every 5-4 match Ontario has won. There have been 3 of them. And it seems like when Quebec has won, they've been smooth sailing, very one-sided. Alain Martel, and both singles matches. Alain Martel beat Alex Pagulayan, and then Luc Salvas beat Mario Mora yesterday.
Yeah.
Both one-sided matches, and those are the only 2 points that have been accounted for Team Quebec.
Yeah, they've lost all the team matches that they've played. Quebec has. Ontario has won them.
Team Ontario to break. Score is 2 games all.
I'll stop it off. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's 3 balls going to go. 3 balls going to go.
Can he cut this 2 on the side?
I believe he can, sir.
It looks like a pretty thin cut.
It is.
Position to the 3. I'll tell you, if he hits it a little too thick, that corner pocket's looming. The corner pocket's in the equation of this shot, no matter what. Got to be very
Eric seems to
careful
think
here.
he's going to hit the rail first and come back down. And that's exactly what Eric called. That's
Wow, what a
exactly
shot.
what he called. Indeed.
What a shot. That wasn't
leaves
the
it a
best
little
shot. He needed to play that
thin.
with a little more bottom. Could have left the 4 a bit straighter, and he's queuing. Looks like he's queuing over the 7 there.
Almost, yeah, it's a little obstructed.
This is missable.
Yeah, he's having to get over it. Yep. As soon as he was coming down
listen,
on that
I'll tell you
ball-
what, Eric should have left in better
Yeah,
position.
I agree. As soon as he jacked that cue up, he was going to impart swerve on that cue ball, and that's exactly what happened. You heard it when he hit it, almost like it jumped. Boop, boop. It made that little sound. He came down on that cue ball, and that took it off the path.
A little more bottom in that 3, and Eric could have left that 4 straight on, and Ben would have had no problem. But he just made it tricky enough, and given that it's the first match of the day, too,
That's
players
right.
haven't really settled down.
Now this is left a little thin as well. Oh no, he's got the 7. Sorry, I was looking at the 8. Yeah, that's perfect. My bad. I can't count. This is good. That's perfect. Speed's right.
I'll give him this one.
Well, if
Mark
James
my
is gonna get
scorecard.
If James is giving it to you, then. Well, that's one that Ontario gave away, I think, James.
Well, you know what? After the break, everything was there. Ben made a real good shot on the 3 in the side. And that
Got the
should
perfect
have...
position where they expected, where they wanted it as well.
Yeah, that should have, or the 2 in the side. Sorry, that should have provided the victory lane. But, hey, such is the subtleties of pool.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's always that little touch of pressure out there, too. So when you make things a little trickier than they should be, and you're not settled, doesn't take much.
Team Quebec to break, leading 3 games to 2.
Alex still chirping from the Team Ontario corner. Dry. Legal break, but dry.
And look at the 1.
Boy, oh boy.
The 5 is married to the 8, so that's a problem.
The
4
is
down the bottom
difficult
end. Good spot,
situation.
Russ. That's not easy either.
No, that's what he's looking at right now.
He's got a chance to actually open the 5 up here.
But still has to get on. He'll have to. Oh, the 2's there, yeah. I think the 3 to the 4 is going to open up that 4 and 7. I think it's in a good place.
I think that last turn,
Oops.
took the clear path away to the 2, but I don't know why Eric played that with the speed that he did.
He just needed to kind of bump the 8. Maybe he thought more speed was going to come off the cue ball after he made contact into the 5 and 8. It's near the pocket, so if he hits it clean, he's got a good shot at making it. How does he get back for the 3? That's it. That was a beautiful, beautiful hit. And the Quebec crowd acknowledging that with a nice round of applause for Ben. That was a beautiful shot. Now you need the nice safety. And you got it. Well, well, well.
Well, it's important Danny hits this.
You
Russ.
think?
No, but it's important on 2 counts. Because if you give him ball in hand, you're going to be able to leave the angle to loosen the 4 up.
That's right. Whereas if he hits it, even if he leaves the 3, it might not be in a favorable angle to be able to get back to open up the 4.
Yeah, he's got. If he hits it, there's no guarantee he's going to have a shot or an angle to
That's
loosen
right.
the 4. Yeah.
That's right. See, Danny's made a very good point. He's saying if you're playing it the other way,
You could loosen the 4 up.
you miss the 3 and you're
Yeah.
coming right into the line. So this way,
Oh, he made it. It's
might
hard
have
enough
even
to send.
made it. But you don't want to make that though, do you? But you didn't want to make that. This makes it more difficult.
Great shot.
That's a beautiful shot. And the danger of the double kiss there was very, very close. He just had the speed right that they both missed each other. Spin this off the bottom rail. Yes, indeed. And it might come out. It might come out. I don't think it's come out enough for him to make it. He might be able to bend it, but he said to him, with these cues, with these shafts, you can make this shot. He just said to him, with these shafts, you can make this shot.
Well, you and I have talked about these composite shafts. You can really spin the cue ball.
And he did. That's a heck of a shot. That is a heck of a shot. Good touch again with the speed. And this nothing to do with the cue ball here. He's just able to come right across, right? You're nodding again.
Straight
on
from
radio.
nodding. I'm nodding on radio. Yeah, sorry. Straightforward. Yeah. I'm tired. I didn't sleep well last. I had bad dreams.
That's perfectly hit. Except that he's going to be stretching, but besides that, that's perfect. A little thin. Perfect.
4-2.
Jim, in your time, and I don't know. I mean, I have certain memories in my head, but I just want to know about you. In your time, whether it be in pool and snooker, are there any particular come from behind matches that have stayed ingrained in your memory? That you say, wow. I mean, I can think of one right off the top of my head.
Well, it's called the Goya, actually, and it was
Goya,
Jimmy
yeah.
White and Cliff Thorburn.
When he came back from being after being snooker,
He needed, I'm going to say, three or more. It was probably more, because I know he ended up getting a free ball. This is Cliff, and he came back, and I mean, that's one that jumps out at me. And another one was Stephen Hendry and Mike Hallett.
That's the one I was thinking about.
And I'll tell you about that one. I had bet Hendry, and I threw my ticket in the garbage, and I had to go get it the next morning.
You found it?
Yeah.
Wow. Dry and ball in hand.
Well, that could be the beginning of the end.
What? You see, Guy just said the luck has switched, the luck has changed a little
Yes,
bit.
well,
Yeah,
listen,
maybe.
Team Quebec is owed a few breaks.
Yeah.
They haven't had many in this Pagulayan Cup.
Jimmy dit, ils n'ont pas eu beaucoup de chance, le Québec, depuis. Fait qu'ils sont dus à avoir...
Absolument, c'est le tour. Hein? Faut nous mettre ça bien serré, ça serait bon.
That Hallett match with Hendry just still remains as one of the... He was one pot away from going 8-2. No, he had it 8-2, 9-2, and couldn't. We had one pot away from winning it and couldn't win it out. And Hendry came back. That chips into the corner as well.
Yeah, he's going to have to cut this and kill the cue ball to stay at the same end of the table for the 4. So he's really got to dig into that white here. Oh, still heavy.
Just a
He's
bit.
a little heavy.
Just a bit.
Makeable, though.
Yeah. Makeable and natural to finish on the 5 as well.
Extension call.
He can reach it. He's tall, so he doesn't need the rest. He'll dig the extension, though.
These two guys look good today.
They do. Martin has a nice stroke as well when he applies. Like his stance might be, because he's so tall, looks so wide and awkward, but his cue action, his cue arm is very snooker-esque, if you will. Yeah, this will roll up naturally as well for the 8, and it's accessible to both pockets, is it not?
It is.
So, punched it over. And he'll slide this one over as well for the 9. There it is. And that's a beautiful out.
Well, the crowd will let you know who won that match. But interesting again, Russ.
First team victory.
But one-sided. 5-2. The close matches, Ontario seemed to govern these one-sided matches, and I think that was a pretty just result. There were enough mistakes in that.
Match suivant.
Next match will be Alex Pagulayan versus Nicolas Charette. An 8-3 the score is brought to now, so still 3 remaining that are required for Team Ontario to hoist the first Pagulayan Cup.
Donc, nous, on vous revient à 11h.
Parfait.
À tantôt.
We'll be back at 11.